Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Now, LaVon, you was talking about bricks on banks, but I want to know about the bricks on the school. Why don't we have more brick on schools?
A lot of the schools are trying to go with the cheaper initial phase in construction to save money. However, it's not going to save them money in the long run. A lot of the schools in the northern counties are still understanding the full concept of how much money it's going to save them overall in maintenance and air conditioning and other such costs. So they're still using them up in more northern counties, but we're trying to get in better with some of the architects down here to have them fully understand that, to be able to relate it to the customers building the schools.
I want my son to feel safe when he goes to school and not have all this wood and stucco on it. I want actually brick on it.
Now, what about that brick that you said you don't need to do drywall? Is that sturdy enough to hold up to wind and everything?
Yes,
Just 8 inches? That's
yes,
all it
8
is?
inches deep, and you'll have about 16 inches long. You can get varying heights between 4 inches and 8 inches high. It's just like having your home built out of block. It's nice and sturdy. It's the same size overall as a block, except just varying heights depending what look you want for the finish. And the inside, if you do want some rooms finished, maybe it'll feel a little bit more homey with the drywall. You can always have that done. But if you want to have a nice, cost-effective way, you don't have to paint it every year like you would having drywall in your house. You can just put it up. It's done. It's there. You're set to go. And it's very more common in commercial applications, such as schools, like we were talking about. Use it a lot in schools because you can have the inside of the hallways finished with the brick, same as the outside of the school.
Yeah.
And you don't have to paint it. You don't have to worry about the kids walking by, knocking a hole in the drywall, scuffing it up, and things like that. Which I see Eric must have done in school. Any other questions?
Now, on this brick when it's up for years and years, do you have to worry about cleaning it again, or is it over?
You will have to clean it. Most likely, just going over it with a pressure washer is usually good enough to keep anything away. If there are problems with the installation, sometimes it can have moisture problems behind it. That's why you want to make sure you have a really good mason, which we can always refer you to. And having a good mason will keep proper installation. It won't allow moisture to get behind, which can cause like white scum and residue type effects in the front of the brick when the brick are trying to pull the moisture through the clay all the way out, and it can cause any impurities from the clay to be brought to the front of the brick. If something like that were to happen due to bad installation, we do have chemicals that can clean it, seal it, and try to prevent it from happening again.
What's the oldest building that you know of made of brick? About how old?
The buildings that we have being torn down, some of them date back to the Boston Tea Party. And we actually have brick that are being reclaimed out of the harbor where the Boston Tea Party was. Due to some ships, what they would do is they'd come over with a bunch of bricks in the ballast to keep the ship weighed down to come over, and then they would dump all the bricks into the harbor, and they load up with goods from America and take them overseas. And those bricks are currently, after hundreds and hundreds of years, being reclaimed out of the bottom of a saltwater harbor and being pulled out, and they're doing it in different harbors all around the country.
Now, when they're knocking out buildings, if we're using them, are they able to get that old the mortar out?
They're able to get most of the mortar off. It depends if you have a really good demolition company or not. Most of the companies we work with, very thorough demolition, very good laborers that clean the material off very well. Usually you can get a little bit of residue. Some of the brick even come with paint on them. We don't recommend them for interior installations, the reclaimed brick, just because it could be lead-based paint from being hundreds of years old. And if there's any small children, anything like that, you wouldn't want to worry about lead.
Can you get, if somebody paints their house and it's made of brick, can you get the paint off?
No.
You can, but it's really, really difficult. It's very time consuming. A really good alternative might be to go right over the existing with a thin veneer brick that's only a ½ inch thick. And you can go right over the existing home without having to create a new foundation or anything like that, and it'll look like a brand new brick job on the house. Anybody else?
Why do we choose brick?
Why would you choose brick? You choose brick if you want something that's going to last a long time and that you're not going to have a lot of